Some years ago, I had a dream thinking about the sacrifice that Christ had made. And when I woke up, I wrote a poem entitled The Crucifixion. So, since this is the celebration of the sacrifice that Christ has made in our lives, I'm going to share with you all a poem. Don't think I ever placed it on Facebook before, but it's entitled The Crucifixion. I had a dream the other night. It made me tremble. It seemed so real. 3 men awaited their execution, and by the 12th hour, they all were killed. My recollection is kind of blurry, but it was a cross which they appeared to be hung. I tell you, it seemed so real. The man in the middle wore a headband of thorns. Blood trickled down from his body. He cried out, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." He cried, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" No one would even help him. Someone save him before it's too late. I ran out to help him, but he said, "My child, this is just my fate." What did he mean by the fate of man rests in his hands? His vows echoed in my thoughts, but I still couldn't comprehend. The people laughed and they taunted. They showed no compassion or even love. They asked him, where was his God who created the heavens from up above? Who is this man who's saying he's doing this for me? No man I ever met would suffer torture just for me. Was it? Could it be Jesus, the Son of our heavenly King, who stepped out of the realms of immortality and took on the status of a human being? He suffered a persecution that no one should have ever faced. But unfortunately, the way many of us are living right now, it's like his purpose was just erased. He took on the sins of many just to save a wretch like me. Unworthy, I stand in iniquity, but it was the way God planned it to be. Oh, Jesus, please forgive me for all the pains that I put you through. Every time I commit another sin, the pain is rendered to you. So many of us are quick to judge, but Jesus showed us that we were wrong. Just like the man who surrounded the adulteress, Jesus said, "Let him without sin cast the first stone." Was this the same Jesus whose Father so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that by sacrificing the life of his only begotten the fight against Satan was already won? Was this the same Jesus who fasted for 40 nights and 40 days in the wilderness tempted by Satan but didn't fall victim to the serpent's prey? Was this the same Jesus who fed the 5,000 with a couple of fish and 5 loaves of bread, who also heard the cries of Mary for her brother and rose Lazarus up from the dead? But why couldn't they see that Jesus is the key to our salvation? He only spread the word, glorifying his Father as he went from nation to nation. We cry out for Christ's second coming, for him to deliver us from this land. But if Jesus was to take on human form once more, we probably would crucify him all over again. So why should Jesus come back? For the pains that we put him through. But my Savior just looked right over him and said, "My child, I'm doing this for you." On that day, they placed my Savior in what appeared to be his eternal grave. But by the power of the Almighty Father up above, on that third day, my Savior was raised. All Jesus asks of us is to follow his Father's commands. Follow the commandments of thy Father, and by his mercy, you will be granted the promised land. Jesus took on all our transgressions. He just wants us to see the love by which he lives, because he did it for you and me. Realize that the sacrifice that Christ has made is for each and every one of us. Some people might argue about, is Christ real, this and that. That's not for me to determine for you, but for me, he is true. He is real. He's true. I thank God for what he's done in my life. And I pray that each one of us will give God that opportunity to understand that he died for us. So we need to start living for him. Not lip service, but living for him. There's a lot of people in this world dying right now, and they haven't seen a true glimpse of who Christ is. And as Christians, we are supposed to be reflecting the image of the glory of God. Many of us are failing God right now, but it's never too late to get your heart right with God. It's never too late to start truly stepping with God. You can't tell people they should be walking a certain way, and yet they don't see you walking that way. Christ deserves so much more. And I thank God for what he's done in my life. I thank him for dying on that cross at Calvary, because without that, it's a lot of religions, a lot of stuff out here. They believe a lot of different things. But somebody got to pay the debt for the sins of a society, of a world, of a generation upon generation. And that somebody was Christ. Know that God love you. I love you as well. Have a blessed Sabbath. And I thank God that he rose up on that third day. God bless.